Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, business leaders and friends, it is a pleasure to welcome you today to Target Gender Equality Live, taking place during the 66th Commission of the Status of Women. On behalf of the UN Global Compact, I want to thank all our partners, speakers and participants for joining us at this event to discuss the private sector's role in advancing gender equality. It is more important than ever to have this discussion as the world continues to face a range of interconnected emergencies: the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the climate crisis, rising inequalities, financial instability, and of course, the war and humanitarian emergency in Ukraine. With millions of Ukrainian people seeking refuge, including our very own colleagues from the Global Compact Network in Ukraine, the UN Global Compact stands firmly with the United Nations in expressing our deep concern about the ongoing conflict and unequivocal demand for peace. Together with the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs and UNDP, the UN Global Compact has developed a business guide to urgently respond to Ukraine's humanitarian crisis. This guide provides concrete action for businesses to support the Secretary General's 3-month flash appeal for people in Ukraine and a regional refugee response plan. At the end of last week, only 10% of the $1.1 billion requested to support people inside Ukraine had been raised. And so I urge all our business stakeholders to support the appeal as generously as you can at this critical time. As a special initiative of the UN Secretary General, the UN Global Compact aligns fully behind our board chair, the UN Secretary General. As we all know, women and girls all too often bear the brunt of war. And that is why gender equality is both central to the challenges that we face, but also part of the solution. Gender equality has the power to transform economies, countries and communities to achieve sustainable development. But of course, for that to happen, we first need peace. Now more than ever, businesses need to step up efforts to promote gender equality and grant women and girls the agency to identify and act on solutions to the world's most pressing problems. I look forward to our discussions today around the Women's Empowerment Principles, or the WEPs for short. Launched in 2010 by the UN Global Compact and UN Women, the WEPs outline how businesses can support women in the workplace, the marketplace, and the community. To date, over 6,000 business leaders from every region of the world have signed the Principles CEO Statement of Support. This number continues to rise, but we need full participation in order to move the needle on gender equality. We urge every company to adopt these essential principles. In this decade of action on the Sustainable Development Goals, empowering women and girls is not only a must-have to achieve the SDGs, but it is linked to all of these global goals. And we need to ensure that commitment is translated into action. And that's where our WEP's Gender Gap Analysis tool can help, by allowing businesses to identify concrete actions that they need to take in order to close the gender gap. Since its launch in 2017, data has shown that 78% of companies using the tool have committed to gender equality and women's empowerment, yet only 38% have taken the next step, implementing time-bound, measurable goals and targets. Today, I'm excited to launch the third round of our Target Gender Equality program, running in over 50 countries. I encourage you to sign up to participate through the UN Global Compact's webpage. Throughout the first 2 rounds, more than 800 companies worked to set and meet ambitious targets for women's representation and leadership in business. It is encouraging that over 90% of participating companies have set or are drafting a target for women's leadership. Many of them come from traditionally male-dominated industries, large and small companies alike. The inclusion of women in decision-making roles across the private sector helps drive responsible and inclusive business practices that are essential to advancing the SDGs and rebuilding a global economy that has been ravaged by the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is why gender equality is one of the pillars of the UN Global Compact's 3-year strategic plan. As such, it is not just central to all of our decision-making, but it is an area where we can lead and shape the private sector's response to gender inequities, wherever they exist. I encourage the leaders from business, government, academia, and civil society gathered here today to take similar, urgent, and impactful action on gender equality. Our collective efforts must engage women and girls to identify problems and explore solutions to the challenges that we all face, particularly at the intersection of climate change and disaster risk reduction. If we continue to exclude half of the world from contributing to lasting solutions, then we are dooming ourselves to failure. Of course, for any solution to be sustainable, it must be shaped by the local community. Toward that end, I encourage every business to engage with your Global Compact local network, pooling your knowledge to find lasting results. Once again, thank you for joining us to make this a dynamic and productive event. I look forward to hearing from our engaging lineup of speakers, including CEOs, young entrepreneurs, leading academics, UN officials, and civil society activists from every region. It is my hope that we leave here today inspired by what we can do together, even as we face a range of major challenges, including the ongoing war in Ukraine. And on behalf of the UN Global Compact, I hope to count on you for your continued support, and I look forward to working with you, united in the business of a better world. Thank you.